Hey everyone, welcome back to Sally Mama's Kitchen. I'm going to be showing you another Chinese classic. Now, this particular recipe, everybody has their own version of it. I've seen it made many different ways, and there are different textures of this particular dish depending on what part of China or even Taiwan you can get. So I'm making my family's version of green onion pancakes. Again, I was taught by my grandmother, and my great uncle still makes it all the time, and I love making it. My kid actually prefers that I make it instead of buying store-bought ones, so I don't actually remember the last time I bought store-bought ones because this is so easy, really easy. I know it seems a little hard because you gotta make your own dough, blah, blah, blah. It's not hard at all. Couple tricks makes things so easy. You can make a batch of these, stick it in your deep freeze, and then you can even fry it from frozen anytime you want. So I'm gonna teach you how to make my family's classic green onion pancakes. Let's go. Okay, so to begin, you're just gonna need flour and hot water. So in this bowl, I have 3.5 cups of just regular all-purpose flour and 2 cups of hot water. And when I say hot water, I mean like freshly boiled hot water. Use a pair of chopsticks, I use plastic ones, or a spatula. You do not wanna put your hand in here. It's gotta be hot water, and just pour and stir at the same time. Also, don't stick your hand in there because it's gonna be really hot. Now, the water to flour ratio here will change depending on the weather outside and all that. So this is just a blueprint of like around that. That's how much, hot water you're gonna need. But if you need a little bit more, add a little bit more. And if, you overdid it, just add a little bit more flour. After a few minutes, it's probably cool enough for you to start using your hands to mix. But if you think that it's still hot for you, just continue using a spatula. It will just take a little bit longer, but you're just gonna wanna keep kneading. So don't add anything, don't add any more flour, don't add any more water until you collect a total dough, and then you'll get a better sense of whether or not you need to add anything. Okay, so as you can see, I have created a dough ball, but it is a little sticky. Like, I don't know if you can see this from my finger, but it's pulling with my finger, which is a little more wet than I would like. And again, like I said, it's probably due to the weather or whatever. So I'm just gonna put in a little bit of flour, probably like a tablespoon at a time at best. And then knead that in. You want the dough soft, but you don't want it wet. So kneading the dough is really simple. All you're gonna wanna do is fold the dough towards the middle and then use the heel of your palm to just push forward. So push down and forward. So it's like that of a motion, if that makes sense. You'll get the hang of it. Just keep practicing. Okay, so after that addition of flour, it's pretty good. It's, as you can see, not sticky no more, still soft, still warm. So at this point, you're gonna wanna leave it in your bowl and just cover it with a tea towel and let it rest for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been about just over half an hour, and you can see it's still very soft and still a little warm, which is exactly what we want. So keep the tea towel because we're gonna cut this into 4 and we're gonna work with 1 piece at a time. Dig it out. You may need a little flour, so keep a thing of flour near you. You're gonna need a lot of flour, so just keep a bowl of flour near you. Okay, so as you can see, the dough is very, very soft. So we're just gonna wanna cut this into 4s. Take a dough cutter or a knife and just cut it into 4s. Roll them up into balls. And all I'm doing is grabbing the edges and then folding them together. I should have done this. Grabbing the edges, folding them together. Just pushing this part of your hand together. And that'll create a ball. And it will feel a little sticky, that's all right, because we're gonna use flour again later. And just put it back into your bowl, just so it doesn't dry up. Okay, so now we're left with 1 ball. Flour your surface really well. As you can see, I'm wearing an apron for good reason because I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna get flour everywhere. So dust your surface liberally. Okay. Put your dough ball down. Cover both sides. You're gonna need a rolling pin. Any kind of rolling pin will do. Make sure you dust that with flour too. You don't want anything sticking. And all you're gonna wanna do is start rolling. So roll the center, turn, roll the center, turn. Of course, sometimes it's not gonna stay perfect and round. Don't worry. So just quarter turn, and that should keep it fairly round. But you know, I can say that and then this is not gonna turn out circular at all, but that's okay. Okay, after you've rolled it out to basically as thin as you possibly can. I don't want to give you guys measurements in terms of diameter because it's really going to depend. But basically it should be like 4 times the original size. So I don't know, like my hand span is usually about 6 to 7 inches. So I'd say maybe this is like, I don't know, like 15, 16, but again, because this is clearly not a perfect circle, but that's fine. Get it as thin as you possibly can, like to the point where you can almost see through it without it ripping. And then all you're gonna need is some vegetable oil, again, neutral oil, canola oil, whatever. Randomly put it about, I don't know, about a tablespoon. Just put it in the center. You're not even gonna need a brush because who's gonna need that? Grab the edges of your dough and just run it alongside and pull back, and guess what? Your oil will spread itself. You can even pat it down and then just pull back. Okay, and once your dough is covered in the vegetable oil, you're gonna wanna just sprinkle it with a bit of salt. I'd say probably about a 1/4 teaspoon or so. You don't want it too salty here. And a little bit of black pepper. And then of course the star of the show, green onions. Now here's a tip. When I buy green onions, I actually wash them, cut them immediately, and then store them in a glass Tupperware, and then they keep way longer in the fridge. Because I don't know about you guys, but do you ever buy green onions and then they go all like gross and limp and, you know, and then it's wasted? Yeah, it won't happen if you do this. It'll take a lot longer for it to happen anyways. So put as much as you want, and of course this makes my life easier because then I don't have to stand here chopping away. Don't put too much because otherwise it will bust through your dough. Okay, once you've spread out your onions, you're gonna want to grab from the edge and just start rolling. Like a cinnamon roll, really. So just roll as tightly as you possibly can. But like, you know, don't lose sleep over it. Once you've gotten this rolled up dough, take your oil again, just run a little dribble over the top. This, you will need to use your hands. Just spread it a little bit. It's gonna get a little messy, but that's okay. Take the edges of your dough and start pulling in. And as you roll in, pull a little bit and roll in. Pull and roll until you hit the center. Okay, when you hit the center like this, you got 2 wheels, put 1 wheel on top of the other. Like that, press down. Like, really use your body weight here. Now I'm just using my body weight to press it out, but if you want, you can use the rolling pin again and just give it a quick roll out. And you wanna get it to about, I don't know, I'd say about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thickness. I just find that if I use my hands, I'll have better control over it. And it's not hard. Just use the heel of your palm and press down. And there you go. Green onion pancake, done. So this you can fry up immediately, or if you want to stick it in your deep freeze, if you want to stick it in your deep freeze, just make sure you got enough oil all over both sides of this pancake. Wrap it in aluminum foil and then put the pancakes wrapped in an aluminum foil and then into a Ziploc bag into the freezer and let it lay flat to freeze. And then when you want to fry it, just fry it on very low heat with a lid on from frozen. Don't let it defrost. Thanks for watching. If you like videos like these, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and little bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. For full recipes, you can always check out my website, and don't forget you can leave your questions and comments below. See you next time.